gang, what is going on? Welcome to this episode of the Dealer Playbook, a podcast that explores what it takes to create a thriving career right here in the retail auto industry. I'm your host, Michael Cirillo. Today, I am excited to bring you my new pal, Mark Lavoie from Autobahn Academy, because we're talking about how to master that follow-up. The topic of follow-up and doing it properly and increasing business opportunities from following up and mastering the follow-up really falls into a topic of conversation that I both love and I hate, and that is communication, proper communication. See, I love communication because I know that in so many instances, especially in our industry, it could solve many of the issues that we face as an organization. But the hate side of it is I hate that we are still so poor at it. I've had some personal experiences dealing with as a customer in the industry, as recently as this weekend, trying to get my vehicle serviced by the dealership that I purchased the vehicle from, which was a complete nightmare. And I'm sure we will unpackage all of my woes. Mark, you're gonna have me laying on a couch at the end of it. But I want to turn this over to you because here we are, it's 2020. Businesses have existed for 7,000 years. And we're still having an issue about follow-up and communication. From your vantage point, because I know you've been in the industry a while, you've been a brand specialist at Audi, you've worked for vendors, you've got your own business that you're working now. What is the biggest challenge that we're facing when it comes to communication and follow-up?
Well, I could expand on it on days with that topic, but I think it always comes down to the amount of value you could bring to your customers and how you can nurture your relationship with them, whether it's that service or if it's a prospect on your website or if it's a customer you already sold to. How can you sell more cars to them? And what I see from dealership is what's really hard is how to find new ways to provide value and bring something to the table when you're following up. Because the two things happen when you don't know how to do or to provide proper follow-up. One, you won't do it because you are not inspired, okay? Because at some point you might want to follow up with a customer, but you just don't know what to say.
Right.
And the second thing that happens is that you will be irrelevant and you will be annoying your customers when in a way people expect follow-up. They expect to be taken care of. And I've seen it through many instances, but you can see people actually going back to a dealership or to a BDC and say, you know what, my consultant, Mike, didn't follow up with me. They didn't call me back. They're expecting you to do it.
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of emotions that comes with, follow-up. I'll leave that to your pro community, but it's really important that you understand really what's going on with follow-up, that you have a sequence and, you have a plan. I see no plans on dealerships working follow-ups, and this is why it fails.
It's funny you say this, right? Like sequence. I'm a huge advocate of applying a sequence, having a plan. You mentioned kind of like a checklist of sorts. I mean, we've all seen it. You walk onto an airplane and there are the pilots and they got the checklist on their lap, like their pre-flight checklist. There's those in the industry like Elise Caphart, Anthony Alagona, who are big proponents of scripts, right? Like Elise has hundreds and hundreds of follow-up scripts and appointment setting scripts and stuff. And you touch on this. Do you think that it's as easy as just having this script and things will improve? I mean, what's your take on that?
A script sometimes could be a little bit too stiff. So you got to be adaptable to what your customer is needing and asking. Much like your pilots, you must have a checklist, but destination, and then you got to adjust through different winds, different traffic, right? I think it's pretty much the same thing with internet leads or any database nurturing. You got to be prepared. And when I talk about a sequence, if you worked internet, let's say you're an internet sales manager today, and it's been 3 months you've been in the business. By now, 90% of instances and types of customers and types of customer journeys have already happened. Okay. We can pretty much predict what people need when they need a new car. They're going to be shopping for cars. They're going to be looking for a specific payment if they have down payments. They want to know how much their trading is valued. They want to know the current incentives. Do you have it in stock? So by that time, you should be able to answer all questions from your customers before they do. And if you're able to achieve that through like a sequence, or call it what you want, it will just make sense. And there's one thing I've been brushing up on my side is transferring from time-based sequences to event-based sequences. I work with so many dealerships. They had like a 1 to 90 days follow-up. Like everything was perfect list, perfect script. I mean, it's better than nothing, but day 37 might not apply to Nicole, who's in the market for something else than Robert, Right. And you got to be adaptable, because if you use too many scripts or too many automations, it's not going to be personable. So this is where it really gets tricky. And this is where I think BDCs have a huge role to play in the industry, unless you're really committed as an internet sales manager or someone that doesn't take really too many ups. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you're bringing this up. This is hilarious, because not what you're saying. What you're saying is so hyper relevant. What I'm about to share, I think is hilarious, because, I've been pretty open about the purchase of our gorgeous Hyundai Palisade. I mean, the vehicle is for family. Holy smokes. The thing has 18 zillion USBs, and
this thing is crazy.
It's awesome. Crazy like value for money. That thing, my wife loves the vehicle.
Yeah.
But the experience purchasing the vehicle lacked so much communication, so much clarity, lying, deceit, like all of your typical things that add to that stigma of the car business happened to us. Like, couldn't have been a worse guy for this experience to happen.
Yeah.
To. But to your point about event-based, why I love that so much is we had a crappy experience that once the sales rep TO'd the deal to the sales manager, who screwed the whole thing up, by the way, it was not her. Poor, person. It was not her. It was the sales manager that screwed things up. She had no clue what was going on. The finance manager had no clue what was going on. The general manager had no clue that any of this was happening to us. It was kind of isolated in a vacuum. However, the only event in the CRM and in the email system was customer in pipeline. So after delivery of the vehicle with a horrible experience, by the way, it took 18 days to get the vehicle when we thought it was going to be 3. The event-based trigger was vehicle delivered. Michael Cirillo promptly gets thank you so much. Would you leave us a positive review on? And so I love what you're saying about event-based, because do you think it's going to cause more work? Potentially, because you're going to have different triggers for different events, but it would not have ticked me off if I had got an email that said, hey, we hope you love your vehicle. I'm the general manager. I understand this was a less than perfect experience. I would love to have a phone call with you to learn so that we can improve. We are constantly looking to improve. And I'm so sorry that this did not add up. And trigger, here's a gift card to the Keg. Go get some steaks on us. Like, we just want to make you happy at this point, and we hope you like the vehicle, but and that didn't happen. It was just that blanket time-based, they delivered vehicle. Please leave us a positive review. And I'm like, I need to step away from my computer because I don't know what words are going to come out of my fingertips.
I mean, I get it. It's really hard to shop for cars. I recently bought one 2 months ago, and it's been, I was really, really being hard on the people I was, shopping for, but it's just, being in a business. It's just a bad habit, I guess. But in your case, I mean, it's quite odd because delivery and sold are two much different events. So this is what happened, right? You signed the deal, you were set to take delivery in X amount of days, but you received like communications like you just like took possession of the car. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Well, this is basic. This is so basic for a dealership. Like those two events are are really different. I hope that every automotive CRMs do have those two separate events because it's not the same. It's a different set of action activities should trickle from these two different events, because in this case it's been 18 days, but you might want to buy an EV right now in some brands like it's Toyota RAV4. You might just be waiting. You might just wait for 5-6 months maybe.
Right.
So you can't basically send an email saying how's the car. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It looks a bit silly. It's not the end of the world, but it looks silly. I know. It's
and I mean, a lot of people, customers talk about, they joke about how robotic the messages sound. So let's talk about remedying this. So you've already brought up migrating from a time-based follow-up system to an event-based follow-up system. Can you maybe give us 2 or 3 different events specifically? So, I mean, ones that maybe listeners are not thinking about. They're going, hey, okay, I understand this sold versus taken delivery versus whatever. What are some other events that you're looking for to create event-based follow-up?
Yeah, sold or delivery is the end goal, the obvious choice. Okay, that's the easy one, because by that time, the customer, you sat down with them. When I talk about event-based follow-up or marketing, I mean, it's even more granular than this. You should be able to take different actions for someone who has visited your website many times or clicked onto a different set of links. Let's say I'm following up with a customers and I'm not sure what they're looking for, right? I got an inquiry form, and for some reason, the vehicle of interest was not in the form or the email I got. So my first action as a dealership is try to determine what vehicle of interest, or is it finance, they are looking for. Is it new or used or finance? And then maybe I would like to bring them, send them 2 or 3 links, try to see what's really going on, and try to poke their interest and know which link they're going to click on. I know most systems are not ready to do so. But just for like a quick parenthesis, that COVID pandemic has brought something new in my business, and we've been providing dealerships with virtual BDC services since a few months, the beginning of the year.
Right.
And obviously it's been a party on my end, because I'm now testing what I've been proning on the Autobahn Academy. So I'm just not the guy telling you what you should do, but I'm testing everything behind the curtain, and I see what's working and what's not, and I can play around with those stats, which I've never been able to do, right? And doing this, I've seen a lot of power in doing so. Try to bring people on the website and see what they're doing, instead of try to guess or going for a generic follow-up sequence that just starts like, hey, we've been in business since 1967. We're a family business here. You got free coffee and free Wi-Fi. This is not what will get you or your customer value, or let alone get them towards the end of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel.
Right. It's interesting that you go that granular. I mean, we definitely see success when we're working with our agency client partners, that the internet, like, this is important for everybody to understand. There's this old saying, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, use them proportionately. And that is to express the importance of listening in a business relationship. Well, little secret here. The internet is the best listener on the planet.
Yeah.
All it does is listen. And so what you're hearing Mark talk about here is paying attention to the behavior of a consumer to help identify the things that they are interested in, the topics, the vehicles. It's not just vehicles, by the way, like helping understand the difference between service intent customers, parts intent to purchase customers, or research customers, vehicle shoppers, new versus used. I mean, you can even go type of vehicle, features of a vehicle. Like there's so many things. And if things are established or set up properly on your digital presence, you can leverage all of that information. This is one of the reasons, by the way, Mark, just internally in my organization, in my agency, we don't have a sales department and a marketing department. We have a revenue team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And that's because I want any of the marketing intelligence, any of those kind of behavioral things, I want that stuff to bleed through to people who are generating revenue in a one-to-one manner. I want them to understand what people are actually interested in so that I can then turn around and give them a much more personalized experience.
Yep. And you know what, the funny thing I realized over creating personalized experience through automated systems.
Right.
Because like right now we're sending like tens of thousands of emails every week on behalf of dealerships. Okay.
Right.
So you can't possibly do everything like personally, but the best trick I've found, and this is a huge secret right now, every time I write a new follow-up or a new automation, I'll do it through like a real email. I've seen too many dealerships having control over an automated system that provides them with the ability to create a sequence of emails and day 1, day 4, day 7, day 10, day 14. And then they just go through, they just like get a coffee. They sit down and they say, okay, day 1, I'm going to say this. Day 4, I'm going to say this. Day 7, I'm going to say this. Problem is it's not real. There's no real energy and emotion behind it.
Sure.
What we've been doing instead is that we've been doing the first few emails, manually, and then we can adapt them in the sequences.
So you're actually, so what you mean by manually through regular email, I think you said is, so instead of using something like say MailChimp or your CRM's built-in system, you're actually going into Microsoft Outlook, into Gmail, and you're writing the first 2 or 3 sequence or emails in that sequence.
Yep.
How are you sending them? Are you sending them manually as well? So you're writing them in the moment, or you're not stacking them up or queuing them or anything like that?
The first ones are really sent manually to customers. We're tracking replies. We're really having a real conversation. And when we're ready and when we're comfortable with the content and how it's worded out, then we transfer it to the system. It makes a huge difference on the reply rate, the open rate, and the way that how people answer to those emails. It's a real email they're getting. So, and then we play around with values and variables, but it's not. Then again, it's not crazy. It's pretty simple, but it makes a huge difference doing it this way.
This is interesting. Let's unpackage email, I guess, writing, email marketing a little bit here. Have you found, so you had just mentioned reply rate and open rate.
Yep.
Without, obviously, I'm not going to ask you to divulge all of your trade secrets on a public facing podcast.
It's okay.
However, have you found a particular word track or word tracks that increase your response rate versus others?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a track or key principles.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind telling you about all my trade secrets right now, but it would take 1 hour and a half maybe. That could be a training actually. It's I like to share everything I find, and I like people to challenge me on everything I find too.
Sure.
Because it makes everything better for everyone.
Let's talk principle wise then. Like what's maybe some of the key 1 or 2 key principles you found that maybe a dealer could start investigating on their own?
Yeah. And I think like one thing for sure is staying away from spam-based keywords and emails. And this is why people are convinced email marketing is dead today, because we all get into spam or promo boxes. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to write your email just like you would an SMS. It has to be personal and non-promotional. I know it seems pretty funny and simple, but 90% of people are not doing that right now. You can use questions in email titles instead of going for promotions, deal, your price on the new CRV.
Right.
Like an email title, like, have you seen this, Michael? Exclamation point, might just get you like double open rate than your new your request on X, Y, and Z Honda.
Your request on fill in the blank here. It's funny you say that too. I think one thing I would add to that is maybe a word of caution is beware of all caps and beware of too many exclamation points in your subject line. I found when there's all caps and too many, because we can go exclamation point crazy, right? 1, 2, 3, like anything past 1. Like you made your point with 1. Yep. When you get to 3, email sender protocol is going to look at that and say, okay, well, this is probably just an ad for Viagra or, like something like that.
The algorithm or any email client will be seeing what kind of ratio caps to non-caps will be used, exclamation points. If you want to be safe and you want to make it like more easier to open for your customers, just use no caps at all. Just no caps. Yeah. Like not even the first letter, at least it's going to stand out. That's for sure. Yeah. Because the only goal by now is to have someone open your email. I work with a large BMW dealership in Texas a few months back, and they had like a really hard time doing email marketing, but they had a database of like 110,000 customers prospects and customers. I mean, I told them right off the bat, I said, you could switch your whole ad money out and just write it off your database. Yeah. But at the same time, they had an open rate of 8%. They really, over time, I looked at what they did and they really shot their database there. They got like spam. It was written all over. So they had to clean it out, restart, use a different system. But within 3 months, they were back at 40% open rate, which is pretty good. And I don't know if you know, but at that time they had 70,000 customers, like cleaned out customers. There were like 40 bad ones. Yeah. But at that time, it was an email would provide them with 30 to 40, appointments in a week. It's just crazy.
And it's so easy to track. I mean, the data around email is so interesting. I mean, now we were talking about something pre-show. We were actually our mini rant around social media. And this kind of feeds into what we're talking about right now. People within the sound of our voices right now, you need to understand something. When you see a sponsored ad or somebody sharing their opinion on social media, you must dig deeper. And what I mean by that is, if I went onto my Facebook right now, because I'm a marketer, because I'm in business, I would see at least 3 opinions of people that say email marketing is dead. Don't do it. Never do it. Here's a problem with the world today. We see one thing, Mark. We see one thing and we take it as gospel truth. Oh, well, see, I'm not going to dig any deeper. What is it about our society today that we will not dig deeper? This is why, by the way, our neighbors to the south, I love you guys, but this is why there's so much turmoil, is because nobody goes a layer deeper. They just take what they heard on the street. And so here's the point. You're speaking about email marketing. I love email marketing. I'm a huge proponent of it. But they're going to go on social and they're going to see somebody make a case for why email marketing doesn't work, why you need to invest everything in Google My Business. And then you're going to see the Google My Business person say, email marketing doesn't, or you're going to see the email marketing person saying, no, email marketing is the best channel right now. Ignore everything else. You're going to see the Facebook ads expert that says, forget everything else. It's all about Facebook ads. You're going to see the LinkedIn expert, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so on and so forth. Here's the thing, though. It is not about just doing one of these things. It's about making sure that they all fit together in a sustainable and scalable way. However, having said that, if you thought email marketing was dead, you've got Mark here talking about the importance of it. You've got individuals like Ryan Dice from Digital Marketer, one of the largest digital marketing agency and teachers on planet Earth, saying email marketing has been one of their largest proponents of growth. You can't ignore a 40% open rate. That is much higher than many people are getting on any of their Facebook ads. And by the way, they're already sitting there. And so in a one-to-one context, it's all nearly free. You just have to know how to leverage it.
Yeah. As soon as you get your contact, like from now on, it's free. Like what's really going to happen is it's just a matter of what you're going to do with your prospect or your customer, because like some people even have like customers and they fail to nurture them and they don't buy with them anymore, and this is what's really costing dealers today. And it's true for any business, by the way. I did a post today and it was about follow up on LinkedIn, but I said, you know what, I'm going to lose some money today by not following up with someone who I should be following up with. Like, this is my case. Okay. I got dealers to bring on Autobahn Academy. I'm doing follow-up, but I could do better follow-up.
Right.
Okay. It's just how it is. And I really like this thing about building my own business right now, because I can test things on my own and then say to whoever's on Autobahn Academy, you know what, this worked, this didn't work because of these principles. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is what I've enjoyed the most since I've been on my own, because it's something like I really wanted to do when I was back in an agency, because I couldn't test everything I wanted to,
Right.
And I think entrepreneurship has proven to be a really good self-development course by itself. And more like most dealers are going through that today. And I think it's really fun to be helping them right now. So it's for like, to bring back to a point, we talked about social media and email marketing. And I think I'm not sure if everyone now, like today, has listened to your previous guest, which is a lady, Audi Please on Instagram.
Yeah. Jennifer.
Yeah. Jennifer, like her approach is really on point when it comes to social media, because I've been asked so many times to, do something about like help dealerships on social media and help salespeople on social media.
Yeah.
And there was like so much gold in that interview. So it's, it's about, once again, bringing value, not talking about always the same product, the product itself. You want to talk, it has to be about lifestyle, and it could be about your lifestyle. But to email marketing, you have to cater about your customer's lifestyle,
Yeah,
If,
I think that's huge. And I mean, stack what you've just said now on top of somebody like Ali Reda, I don't care if Guinness stripped him of his title. He's the Guinness World Record holder for selling the most vehicles in a year. And everything you just talked about, stack it on top of what Jennifer Worsley talked about in our previous episode, or on top of any sales professional in this business or dealership who is doing anything significant. They have found a way to add the human touch to all of their communications in addition to the follow-up sequence. Mark, man, this has been a tremendous conversation. I'm so glad that we were able to connect and get you on the show here and share some of your wisdom and advice. It's super powerful stuff. Certainly, I would encourage anybody that is curious about how they can improve their communication to really take what Mark has talked about today and say, okay, how can I apply this to my context? Knowledge just for consumption's sake is you become a walking encyclopedia. I know over the last 300 and some odd episodes of the show, it can be really easy to become a walking encyclopedia of things should be done. But the importance is to go through, right? In this episode, we talked about, follow-up sequences and migrating from time-based to event-based, really paying attention to consumer interaction. We've talked about, paying attention to the more granular actions that people are taking. So you need to go, wait, what does that mean? That's the whole point of the show. You got to go, wait, what does that mean? Track more granular. This is where you have so many resources at your fingertips to say, hey, I got to go to Google and figure out how to track those granular interactions if that's not already the case. Or I need to reach out to my agency partner or my vendor and say, are we doing this? And if so, how do I access it? P.S. Are you holding it hostage from me? Because that's a big nay, don't do that. But so much value in here, man. So much wisdom. I thank you for joining me here on the Dealer Playbook Podcast. How can those listening get in touch with you?
Well, thanks for having me. I just want to make sure we can help dealerships around us. So if you want to drop me a line or challenge me on something you've heard today or something else, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just search for Marc Lavoie, Marcladie, or just Marc. Send me a line on Let's Connect on LinkedIn and let's discuss.
You're the man. Thanks so much for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.